Hello and welcome to Tenfold Hat News. Today, this video is not for kids. It is Sunday. The video is not for kids as it is news. There is no cussing and there is no cursing. If you've gone to church today, good. Remember what the Bible has always been teaching us. Now, today is a very interesting day. We've seen a lot of crazy stuff this past week. Amber Heard, Johnny Depp. Okay. But more or less, it comes down to some major stuff going on. Meat processing facilities are getting attacked across the country, causing a very bad situation with their food supply. The Department of Homeland Security is not doing its job to stop that, nor have they tried to do anything about securing the border. But they're not making that their priority. Their priority is censoring speech. Censor free speech is a violation of the Constitution. Tech platforms have gone too far with censoring speech. Google is offering Google Docs, and what they do is they censor speech. This is going to run into a problem with courthouses when they find out that certain things got changed, and now courthouses can actually sue Google for this. Google is using its spell check to alter people's speech patterns. Why? I don't know. But it's crossing the line. It's dictatorship. Furthermore, it's getting worse with the U.S. government. Department of Homeland Security has a Ministry of Truth. I don't see the point of this. I really don't. It is dangerous, to say none the least. It could cause a massive uprising, a civil war per se. They went after the Second Amendment so bad, now they're feeling confident to go after the First Amendment. When does it stop? That's a big question. Now, I always tell people you got to start preparing for a lot of things. We got to prepare for setting up vegetable gardens because food is going to run scarce. We may have to start preparing to set up for other things. If you haven't gotten a 3D printer, I would recommend you do it now. You may need to be able to manufacture parts such as plumbing and stuff for your car or for your electrical, and just to get better organized. And you can, with 3D printing, CNC machines, and wood and all that, you can make things that are going to be a lot better than the original manufactured part because it's done correctly. So we're in the 21st century. It's time to learn how to survive the 21st century. Yes, there may be a breakdown in equipment, but we don't necessarily have to go back to the 1900s where our knowledge of technology, our math and science has developed to a different level, a higher level. We can't go back to the 1900s. We can, however, develop technology that makes us self-sufficient. We could build generators that can make us self-sufficient. Right now, the problem with big government is they want to now get into our personal lives, tell us what to think, censor us what to say, tell us what to do, what we can or cannot do. It's become overreaching and the beginning of a very nasty dictatorship. The thing is, we just have to learn how to out-survive it. And I'm not talking about going out there and I would never promote any form of violence. That's not what I'm talking about. What I will talk about, more important, is how to survive without having to go to the grocery store, how to have food readily available, how to save and conserve water, how to take care of your health mentally and physically, how to make friends, how to trade, how to understand the value of things, and just do it that way, step by step. I will probably use my 3D printer for good to build a generator and then start building a GravWell generator. Start looking about making a homemade solar panel to bypass most of these deficiencies that the Democrats and Democrat government policies have put on us. We have to learn to get around this stuff. Being detached from the electrical grid is important. However, there's only 4 states where you're allowed to live off the grid. Most states require you to live on the grid, which is absolutely dangerous. Jimmy Carter was against this. Most people should be against this. We should not have one solid electric grid. It is dangerous because if that grid gets taken out, it doesn't serve, it would hurt us and our defense-wise capabilities. Very important that we start harnessing nuclear power, learning how to use nuclear power the correct way. If we can just, as a society, manage to master gamma ray frequencies and control them perfectly, we may be able to have a chance to develop antimatter so we can go beyond the stars for space travel. And if we can do that, we can actually get somewhere. But it all comes with timing and just doing the right things. Now, I would be interested in trying to show you how to build stuff. So those are going to be my next projects. I've been working on other projects, really heavy projects. I haven't gotten my camera out. I was supposed to do a photo shoot today, but the guy called in and says, I can't have you do it. And I says, you know what, man, that's fine. He says, to be honest, I don't like your work. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. That's because it's his choice. But I will try to find a way to make things work otherwise. I have so many avenues. Nothing is a failure. The only thing that's a failure is getting things to market. And I just got to find a seller. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Going on the topics of what else is happening today's society, I'll be honest, things aren't looking so good. So if you haven't started yet, learn to get your phone encrypted. Check to make sure you're not being spied upon. Learn to make sure whatever letters and documents I have are encrypted so no one else could get into your personal information. Now they're going after what people think and what people say. They're stopping people who disagree with the narrative from freely assembling. This is not a joke. This is actually happening. This is not some bogus conspiracy. So as a tinfoil hatter, I recommend we learn how to grow our community by being positive and helping out others. But we also learn how to teach and organize and get people to think freely. So with that, I say, let's come together. Let's do something for good. I will be showing you how to encrypt your stuff, how to make encryption for your phones, the numbers you're going to need to dial in my next video to encrypt your stuff, how to check your phone to make sure. If you don't have by now, get an iPhone. Apple phones and Apple devices have their own Apple Care to detect it. You may, if that's not what's being tapped, then it's going to be your carrier who's tapping your phone lines. And if your carrier is tapping your phone line, you're going to have to get a lawyer or file for a subpoena to untap that phone line. As for me, tomorrow I'm going to go down to the city hall and ask for documentation on the resolution. I have to ask for it. There's a lot of stuff that's going on that is not making any sense, and I'm trying to get this stuff taken care of as soon as possible. The other thing that's happened that I've noticed is we're heading down a path that is neither good or bad, but we're heading down a path that's just not good. It's really bad. I can't say it's not bad. We're heading down a really bad path, and right now the powers that be are cutting off those who speak against it. We had corporations try to tell us what to do, but we stood up to the corporations with our dollar. Now we're trying to stand up to politicians who are trying to say, well, if you disagree, now they're trying to personally arrest us for silencing it. California alone has SB 866, SB 871, and SB 1390, as well as SB 1464. These laws will violate your First Amendment and will force drug companies to have power over what you choose and what you put in your body. They will force it into you. You will have no choice. They're pushing this bill right now. Our First Amendment is being violated. 1390 means if you speak out against it or you're against it, they can arrest you. Yet we have high violent offenders who are being let go out on the streets, killing, murdering, and raping. Censorship is so bad today. I went into YouTube, I put in a comment, Trump's Kung Flu joke was funny. And they're saying, well, this doesn't go against our community guidelines. Here's the thing, I'm not anti-Asian or any of that stuff. I'm actually pro-Asian. I got a daughter who is half Asian. And the thing is, what ticks me off is they're really worried about violence towards Asians. Why would you promote CRT or groups or organization like BLM, not the movement, and Antifa, who have shown major history of attacking people who are Asian? BLM, they don't like Asian people because they find it to be insulting that a minority is doing really well. You have Antifa, same thing. The organization BLM is dangerous. The movement was supposed to be something completely different, but you had these really crazed wackos like Sean King, who's a white man, hijacked the movement. The movement was trying to spotlight the situation in communities of color that were having difficulties, like issues of police brutality, but instead it pushed into something way worse. You had Antifa going out there and attacking people of color. They're going after Andy Ngo, a gay Asian journalist. And YouTube, Facebook, and the tech companies, Twitter, they think it's okay. It is not. You got people who are holding the Star of David and getting attacked saying, you need to get rid of a symbol of hate. The Star of David is not a symbol of hate. The hammer and sickle is a symbol of hate. The swastika is a symbol of hate. Depending on what it's faced. Nothing against the Buddhist community. But, you have to go to Asia to understand that's where it came from. But the swastika was taken away and hijacked by the Nazi Party and used as a symbol of hate. There's a long, interesting history that people will assume once they go out and travel. I've been around the world. I've seen some stuff. But outside of that, not to get on off topic, you got people promoting commercials like it's okay to punch a Nazi. But then you have people who are hijacking the term with Nazi is anyone who doesn't agree with the extreme demands of the left. And I'm like, excuse me, the word Nazi means National Socialist. And because I speak out against the idea of socialism and that everybody should have a right to speak, even people I disagree with, does not make me a Nazi. It makes me a patriot because I believe in the freedom of free speech. And no, I don't think we need to be saying, well, what about consequences? Unless you're threatening violence and doxing people, then yeah, that's when it needs to change. Those are the only two things where I kind of draw the line. Doxing people and threatening their families, threatening to do harm and violence. That is where the line has always been drawn. But I do not in any way promote the idea of getting rid of the Constitution. It's there to protect individuals from a tyrannical government. And right now, we have a tyrannical government. We have people in position of power who are abusing their power, not taking care of what we need, such as food and stuff like that, using their power to silence any opposition. And it is not right. We have never been in a time in our country I can't really say our country is really divided. A lot of people are coming together and uniting against the people spouting hate and disinformation, which is the extreme left. The people in the Democrat Party, some Democrats who are moderate, are breaking away from their party members saying, I can't get on board with this. It's saying lunacy. You say you're progressive, but you don't represent what we were supposed to be. And I think you're seeing with Bill Maher going out there and saying that the left is no longer the party of JFK and FDR. That should be a big sign that we are in trouble. So, as I speak right now, I will say this. Go out and do good things, take care of people, be nice, talk to people, figure out stuff. Resolve whatever conflicts you have with somebody that you had a major disagreement if you can. Try to promote peace. Let's grow our community the right way. We don't commit crimes. We help people out. We try to be the positive because the world is negative and the world has become evil. We cannot be part of that world. We have to change it. That is what we can do. And I'm not saying we're all going to do it all together at once. I'm saying we do it step by step, day by day, on our own time and within the right way of doing it, and not to overstress ourselves. With that being said, have a good day for the Tinfoil Hat News.